What is going on, beautiful people of the world? My name is Garrett Wolf, and I am the host of the #1 podcast for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs. I've built my body over the last 8 years, and in the last 3 years, I've helped hundreds of online clients shred unwanted fat and embody the best version of themselves. Now, let's jump right into today's show. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Alpha Movement Podcast. This is the #1 show for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, all without giving up the most enjoyable aspects of their life. Had to move the camera there real quick. Sorry about that, guys. Probably cut that out in the replay. But in today's episode, we're going to be talking about positive momentum. All right. Actually, the camera needs to move back a little bit. Hold on. 1 second. Angle. Boom. All right, I'm trying out this, it's still in frame. I'm trying out this new camera angle because I can't read the live stream comments when the camera's way over there, so I brought it a little bit closer to me, but I'm trying to keep it out of the frame of the recording camera so that I can read the comments and interact with it at the same time as recording it. So I'm going to push it back just a little bit more so that's out of frame. All right, boom. But now you guys are like at a weird-ass angle. Boom. Okay. Now you should be able to see me. This is perfect. This is so much better. I can read the comments, and now I can actually respond to some of the comments. But in today's episode, guys, I just want to talk a little bit about momentum, positive momentum, my life, some things that I've been doing in my life to achieve a little bit of positive momentum. Because to be honest with you, I don't really have a script for today's podcast. I don't really have a script for any podcast that I run, but I always just hop in with an idea in my head and kind of spit off the dome, kind of improvise and talk about the things that come to my mind. And today I was just like, I've been given a lot of fitness advice, a lot of practical kind of application for business, fitness, mindset. And today I just want to talk about my life a little bit. I just want to talk about my life, some of my wins. And that's it, because things are moving really incredibly fast. Things are moving insanely fast in my life. And I wanted to take a step back and just kind of re-identify, kind of take a look at what's been going on and just kind of talk about some of the wins, because it's important to talk about the wins in your life just so that you know what you're winning at, what you might need to, work on a little bit. And I just wanted to talk about it. So, taking you guys back a little bit, about 6 or 7 months ago now. It's been a long fucking time. Holy shit. I came here to Massachusetts, which is where I'm currently at, from Virginia. So if you guys didn't know, I do live with my parents. I'm 21 years old. I dropped out of college after 1 year of attendance after COVID hit because, man, I just wasn't learning anything, and they transferred us to online school, and I was just like, why am I getting a degree? I was getting a degree in movement science, and I was just like, why am I getting a degree for movement science when I can literally start online coaching and teaching people in real life rather than just learning all this bullshit that's not even going to help me, and I'm going to be in school for 4 years not making any money, not really doing anything. So I dropped out of college, and basically like a year later, my mom decided to move from where I am now, Massachusetts, to Virginia, right? So now I bounce back and forth from Virginia and Massachusetts because my dad lives here in Mass still, and my mom lives in Virginia. And so I just bounce around kind of, and I run the online fitness coaching business. I also run a marketing agency, and I'm also getting into brand creation. So the Garrett Wolf brand, which is just basically posting content on all platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, all these fucking social media apps. I'm all over every single one of them now, and just 6 months ago that wasn't the case, or just 7 months ago that wasn't the case. I was more or less just on Instagram. Posting twice a day on Instagram was my old strategy. And after I came here, basically from Virginia, I basically dedicated myself to figuring out the other platforms, to building a brand, and to actually just improving myself. And over the past 7 months, it's been an absolute roller coaster of a time. It's been, ups and downs and highs and lows. And I just really am super thankful for all the highs and for all the growth that I've been able to create. I went from posting 2 times a day on Instagram to posting 6 times a day on Instagram every single day now. I had to come up with a content strategy where I was able to pump out and produce that much content, and I'm really thankful that I was able to figure that out. I didn't have a podcast at all. Now we're on the 47th episode of the Alpha Movement podcast. We're going to have 100 episodes out by the time I step on stage. That's another thing. I'm going to step on stage in 6 weeks from now, which is incredibly exciting. I cannot wait to step on stage. I'm already looking fucking crazy. I have like tree branch veins in my abs. If you guys didn't see the new reel today that I posted, I have like tree branch fucking veins in my abs, which is absolutely crazy. And I can't imagine what I'm gonna look like in 6 weeks from now. But other than that, I'm posting on YouTube every single day. I'm posting vlogs. I'm posting the Alpha Movement podcast recording on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube every single day. We're growing pretty well on there. YouTube is a tough one to conquer. Anyone who's tried YouTube, I've been trying YouTube on and off since I was like 16 years old. 16 years old is when I posted my first video on YouTube, and dude, it is hard to conquer YouTube. YouTube is tough, but we're actually at 483 subscribers as of today. I hit 500 yesterday, and then a bunch of people unsubbed. That's the thing. YouTube is up and down. You get excited about one thing, and then all of a sudden they kind of just unsub. They like one piece of content, and then they don't like the other pieces of content, and they just kind of fall off the bandwagon. But the point is like I'm in some pretty serious positive momentum, and I don't think I would have been able to do this if I just didn't take that first initial step. That first initial step walking forward, because guys, I mean, getting vulnerable like for a second, a couple, not even just 7 months ago, but a couple years ago before that, and all throughout high school, I was like a really socially anxious person. I was really somebody who struggled with a lot of anxiety and social anxiety and a little bit of depression. I don't want to call it depression because it's not like something that I can't work my way through, but I went through like a pretty serious breakup when I went to Virginia initially. It was I guess you could call her my high school sweetheart, right? I don't know. I don't really know what else I would call her, but we dated for like 4 years, right, in high school, and getting a little vulnerable, leaving her was like one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, basically. And I had to go to Virginia because my mom was going there, and at the time I wasn't really as close with my dad and my stepmom, so I didn't really think living at their house was exactly an option for me. So I ended up having to go to Virginia, and we just decided we can't really do the long distance thing. And so that put me into a spiral, man. That really put me down in the depths. And when I was in Virginia, I was just honestly, I can talk pretty openly. I don't really give a fuck about what any of you guys think of me. So when I was in Virginia, I was just doing a lot of drugs, right? I was not hard drugs. It was just weed, right? I was smoking a lot of weed. I mean, let's just be open and honest. I don't really give a fuck anymore. It's like when I was in Virginia after that breakup, I was just smoking a ton of weed. Like literally, when I would wake up, I would just smoke a fuck ton of literally wake up in the morning like 10, 11 a.m. I would just smoke a ton of weed, literally, and then I would just go back to sleep because I was just so sad. And like she would pop up in my dreams and shit, and she would be haunting me. And I don't want this to be a therapy session, all right? So I'm gonna slow down a little bit, but dude, it was like just not a good place, right? I wasn't in a good place mentally. I was smoking a ton of weed. That's pretty much it. I wasn't doing any other drugs. I don't drink hard or anything like that. I was like just smoking a ton of weed. That was pretty much it. Like day and night, right? I would fucking wake up, take a bong hit, go back to sleep, wake up, smoke again, go back to sleep. And that's just it's an awful existence. It's a graveyard of an existence to do something like that. And thankfully, nowadays I am off that shit. Not completely. I don't want to say completely, but I am slowing it way the fuck down for this competition prep. And that's just another thing about competition prep is it just gets you into positive momentum. And I'm super fucking thankful that I was able to kick that to the curb because that was one thing that was really taking over my life, especially when you're sad, is like weed is a very good, stimulant to make you happy. It's kind of like video games is where you're kind of sad and all you really have to do is smoke a little bit of weed and it'll bring you right back up. That's why it's like a really powerful drug, and it's really, really psychologically addictive. It's not physically addictive per se, but it is really, really psychologically addictive, meaning it's kind of like food cravings. I talk about food cravings all the time where it's like you're thinking about not eating the food, like you're thinking about not eating the candy bar, but then all of a sudden you get a little bit hungry, and all of a sudden your brain starts making reasons as to why you should go eat the candy bar. You're like, yeah, I want to lose weight, but the candy bar is really fucking good and I'm pretty hungry right now, so I might as well just eat the candy bar. That's basically the same thing as like a weed craving. It's like it takes over your brain. Like in the morning you could be like, I don't want to smoke today, like I hate how it makes me feel. I hate how it makes me feel all anxious and depressed, and I don't want to do it today. And then you run into a hardship in your day-to-day life and you're like, this is pretty fucking hard. You know what would make it better? A little bit of weed. And then you go get some weed and you fucking smoke it, and it's just a downhill spiral. But anyway, we're talking about positive momentum because I was not in a bad place, or I was not in a good place, prior 7 months ago before coming here. I was still making content and I was still coaching people, but I was just anxious. I had a lot of imposter syndrome. I was struggling with a lot of things. I was struggling with a bad mindset and just negative momentum and all kinds of shit here and there. And I'm just really thankful to be where I am right now because 7 months later, like, I'm, posting 6 times on Instagram. Again, I'm posting like a ton on YouTube. When I came here, I only had 180 subs. Now we're at 480 subs. So we grew 300 in 7 months, which is like, it's not crazy, but we're finally starting to get somewhere. And, I'm even tweeting now. I'm on Facebook. I deleted all the weirdos from my Facebook because I'm trying to build that up now. I have an awesome Discord community. It's like, and how did all this happen? How all this happened is I just put one foot in front of the other. I just started taking one step after one step. And by no means do I think I've gotten, crazy results, but I think that I've gotten results that can be replicated by anyone. I think anyone can do what it is that I've done. I went from 10,000 followers to 30,000 followers on Instagram. That's probably the biggest platform that I blew up on. I, went past 11,000 followers on TikTok. We're at 11,500. And I'm not saying these numbers to be like, oh, look at me. Like, cause I really don't think I'm someone yet. I don't think I'm really anyone of vast importance, but I'm saying the point is if you want to accomplish something, it's just about putting one foot in front of the other. I talk about 1% progress every day. And it really is just positive momentum that at the end of the day is going to keep you going. It's going to keep you fucking excited to smash your goals. And the cool thing is as you get more and more wins, you start to believe in yourself more and more. Like being a YouTuber, being a brand or a content creator, whatever you want to call me, an online coach, entrepreneur, there's many names that you could say, was just a distant dream for me, especially when I was in Virginia in that bad place. It was like, I want to do this. I know I want to do this, but I'm not sure, I'm really not sure if I'm going to be able to accomplish it. I really don't know if I have what it takes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sustain this kind of content creation. And I don't know if anyone even wants to watch my content. But now it's like, I really understand the ins and outs of it. Is like, I really don't care if people want to watch my content. I understand that the more I post, the more I'm going to find my tribe. And the more I post is the more people are going to kind of resonate with me and resonate with my message. And so it really is just about putting one foot in front of the other. And now we're at 47 podcast episodes. We're almost at 1,000 posts on Instagram, and I'm stepping on stage for the very first time in 6 weeks, which is something that was only a fucking distant dream so long ago. And I don't think I would have had the strength to pull the trigger and actually pull out my credit card to pay my online coach and to sign up for this competition if I didn't have so much positive momentum on my side. And so when I say positive momentum is one of the strongest driving forces in the universe, I really fucking mean that to my core. Like it's insane how if you just start stacking up wins, it's going to be so not easy, but it's going to be so much easier for you to take that next step. And the reason it's so hard for a lot of people to take a step forward towards their goals is because they're so deep in negative momentum. They've been talking to themselves about this goal. They've been trying to accomplish something for so long, and they're watching themselves go against the grain. Like, for example, when I was in Virginia in this bad headspace, I wanted to accomplish the same things. I wanted a podcast. I wanted to build a brand. I wanted to post on social media, but then I would like smoke a ton of weed and I would just play video games. And I would literally be in the back of my head, I would be watching myself. I would be like, why the fuck are you getting high and playing fucking video games? Like, you need to do these things that you want to do if you want any hope, even a sliver of a chance at accomplishing what it is you want to get done. And that's negative momentum, because I'm literally watching myself in the back of my subconscious not accomplish the goals that I know I want to achieve. And that's just heartbreaking. It's just fucking heart-wrenching, dude. And it's like, I couldn't even talk to people, right? It was like, I would get anxious when people call me on the phone. Like, does that happen to anyone else? When you get a phone call, you get fucking anxious. Like, that is ridiculous. Talking to other people, being anxious about talking to other people because I cared so much about what they thought of me that I didn't care enough to even think about what I thought about myself. That's a fucking golden nugget right there. I cared so much about what people thought about me that I didn't even take a second to consider how it is that I thought about myself or how it is that I feel about myself. And the reason I believe that I cared so much about what other people thought about me is because I fucking hated myself inside. I literally hated myself for playing video games and getting high all day and not doing what I knew needed to be done. It's about identifying an action step and then moving forward. And I knew what I needed to do. I knew that I needed to post on YouTube, Instagram, all these social medias. Pick one, make it happen. Or for you, it could be a fitness journey, since this is like a fitness entrepreneur mindset podcast. You could know that you need to go to the gym, but you're watching yourself not go to the gym. And it's like, it's just so heartbreaking. It's so gut wrenching to see yourself not move forward towards your goals. And the reason that it's so hard for some of you guys is because you've literally been in the back of your mind watching yourself not accomplish this goal over and over and over again. And so you're kind of you're clarifying to yourself that you're not really someone who's, meant to do this thing, because obviously you can't do it in real life. So obviously maybe it's not meant for you. And that just is not true. That is not the case. If you were able to just pick yourself up and put one foot in front of the other and start stacking up some wins, you'd be able to finally see, your eyes would finally open, and you'd finally be able to understand that you can accomplish this goal. You can do this shit. You can move forward. Someone just commented on the live. He said, I drive to the gym and I sit in my car for almost 30 minutes and it's sad. Dude, that is sad, but honestly, bro, try to rewire it and like make it a win. Like that's okay that happens. I understand that. I've had clients in the past who have like, it's not exactly social anxiety. It's really more like spotlight syndrome anxiety, where it's like, I'm assuming this is what's happening to you. This is what was happening to my client. Was he would go to the gym and he would think to himself like, everyone's looking at me and everyone's judging me because I'm out of shape and I'm kind of more or less fat. And so he's like, I cannot stand going to the gym because I think people are judging me the whole time. And this is a common phenomenon. It's called spotlight syndrome. And it happens to a lot of people who are really self-conscious about themselves, right? Because he doesn't like his body. He hates his body. So he kind of hates himself because he knows he wants a better body, but he's watching himself not go to the gym. And he's using the justification of spotlight syndrome to justify to his mind as to why he doesn't go to the gym. But then it's just this fucking devilish spiral of, I know I want to go to the gym, but every time I go to the gym, people just watch me and judge me and think I'm fat. And the reason he thinks that is because he actually looks at himself, watches and judges himself, and thinks that he's fat. And so he uses that as a justification not to go to the gym. And then he ends up back at square one where he's like, I'm just fat and I'm unhappy and I don't really want to go to the gym because everyone's going to look at me, right? And this is a common thing that happens to a lot of people. It happened to me too, not with spotlight syndrome, but with accomplishing my goals, with building a brand, with building a social media. Is like, I knew I need to post every day. It's like, you need to, at this point, people's attention spans are so fucking slow. Or maybe it's fast. I don't know. Is it slow or fast? Where you need to post every single day or people fucking forget about you. Like, even people, I watch people tune into my live. I go live on Instagram every single day. And it is impossible for somebody to watch the entire live stream on Instagram. Literally, I see the viewers go up. It goes to like 10, 11, 12, then it drops down to 5, then it goes back up to 7, 8, 9, then it drops back down. Now we're at 2 because we're late into the podcast and people just keep falling off because of their attention span. It's just so slow. Like, they just don't give a fuck about what I'm saying. And I don't judge them. I probably wouldn't give a fuck about what I'm saying either. But it's just like, to my point of, you need to post every single day or people are gonna forget about you. And I just wasn't posting as frequently as I knew I needed to. And so I just had to start picking it up. I just had to start getting positive momentum. And now I'm able to consistently sustain 6 posts every single day on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts. And it's crazy. Like, it's really not that hard, but it was something that I kind of thought that my perspective saw as impossible. Like, not just 7 months ago. I thought it would be impossible to post 7 times on Instagram. I thought it would be impossible to build a brand. I thought it would be impossible to get online coaching clients, but it really is possible. It is something that can be done. You can really accomplish anything you want to accomplish in this life, not just because you want to, but if you actually take action. It's the action taking that separates the men from the boys. It's the action taking that's going to make you successful at whatever it is you want to accomplish. And it's about the momentum you can build up that's going to create the reality that you have for yourself in your mind. And that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to talk about some of my wins, some positive momentum, let you guys know the juxtaposition that I'm not perfect. I struggled with a lot of things for a long time, and I'm sure I'll get more in depth in this and not in this podcast episode, but in future podcast episodes, because I plan to build this podcast out to a fucking absolute empire. I'm super excited about it because we're already at 47 episodes. Podcasting is super fun because you literally just get to lay everything out on the line. You get to tell the world how it is. Like, I'm not hiding behind any fucking curtains. I'm just telling everyone how it is, and seeing how maybe you can apply something from my life to your life, because it speeds up the learning curve when you apply things from other people's lives. And I want to be a leader. I want to lead by example. I don't want to just tell you what to do. I want to be able to actually show you what you can do and have you decide for yourself if you want to accomplish it or not. And so that's what I'm doing. I think I'm getting a lot better. The social anxiety thing is getting way fucking better. I have no problem talking to people anymore, and I think that just has to do with producing a ton of content, laying everything out on the internet, doing a podcast every single day. And am I on the podcast app? I am now, bro. As of 2 days ago, I'm on the podcast app. I appreciate you for asking that. So now not only are we on Spotify and YouTube, we are on the Apple Podcast app, which is crazy. I didn't even know how to do that. One day I was like, all right, I'm going to figure it out. And I figured it out. It's really not that hard. And see, I used to think it was so hard. I used to think getting on the podcast app would be impossible. But then I was like, you know what? Today I'm going to figure it out. I figured it out in like 30 minutes, dude. It's like you just copy something called the RNS link and you put it into the hosting platform, and then it posts all your episodes on the podcast app. So easy, dude. So easy. So I hope you tune in, bro. Corey Walker. I appreciate you for showing up, dude. This is the Alpha Movement Podcast, where I just lay everything out on the table. I'm your host, Garrett Wolf, and I am not perfect. I struggle with a lot of things, and I'm just trying to make my way through this life just like everybody else. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you got some value. If you got some value, I forgot to say this in the intro for the first time ever, I believe. I don't think I said this, but if you got some value, please screenshot my face. Share it to your Instagram stories. Tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story and send you a free gift. Other than that, guys, it has been your boy Garrett Wolf, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hopefully you got some value. If you did get value and you want to learn a little bit more about how you can go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, just head over to my Instagram at _Garrett Wolf. DM me the word six-pack and I'll reach out to you and see if I can help. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace.